Hello, dear learners and students. I am going to explain some explanatory passages from On His Blindness by John Milton from the anthology titled New Golden Treasury. The first passage for explanatory question probable is when I consider how my light is spent, half my days in the dark world and wide, and that one talent which is death to hide, lost with me useless. This is the opening lines of the sonnet On His Blindness by John Milton. This is sonnet number 19 of John Milton. In this poem, the narrator gives an account of a great talent of his, which lies useless, which is lost useless because of his blindness. In these lines, the poet says that when he thinks of how he becomes blind in the prime of his life, in the youth of his life, he thinks that he is helpless in the dark and wide world. He recalls that he has been bestowed with a great talent. That talent is to compose poetry in the praise of God, in the praise of the Almighty. But the poet regrets that on being blind, his talent lies useless, lost useless, because he is unable to render his services to God, to the Almighty. The poet is reminded of the Bible, which tells the story of one who goes blind, his light is spent, and he is unable to serve God with his talent. These lines are very meaningful. The passage has biblical references. Is spent refers to the light that is gone. Lost, useless stands for lying useless, without use. This is a Petrarchan sonnet composed on the pattern of the great Italian poet Petrarch. Now let me talk about the second passage of On His Blindness. God doth not need either man's work or his own gift, who best bear his mild yoke, they serve him best. In this passage of On His Blindness by John Milton, the poet gets the reply of his question, of his query from God. His query or his question from God is, how can he render services to God becoming blind? Then a whispering, a murmur, a slow voice soon replies that God does not need anything from human beings, from man or women. He does not exact day's labor. He does not want or demand labor from God, from human beings. Either man's work or his own gift. God neither wants man's work nor his own gifts or gifts given by God himself. Then the poet says that those who obey God most, those who wear his command, those who do not do wrong, those who do right and just, also serve God. They serve him best. These lines show the religious bent of mind of the poet. John Milton was a great religious poet. Though he becomes blind in the youth of his life, but he remains religious. He remains kind, compassionate to one and all. These lines show the masterly handling of the meter by John Milton. The third stanza, the third passage, his estate is kingly, thousands at his bidding speed, and post over land and ocean without rest. They also serve who only stand and wait. This is the concluding passage of Milton's On His Blindness. It is sonnet number 19 of John Milton. In this passage, the poet says that God is like a king. His position is like that of a king. His estate is kingly. And thousands at his bidding speed, and a large number of people are ready to obey God. A large number of people are ready to carry out the commands, the orders of God and Almighty. They are ready to obey their command over the land and even in the ocean. They are up and doing in the services of God and the Almighty. God does not need or require service from one and all. The poet emphatically says that those who only stand and wait also serve God. Those who do not do anything but simply stand and wait, they are also devotees to God. They are also worshippers of God. God does not expect anything of his devotees, of human beings. This passage shows the religious bent of mind of John Milton. This is a very interesting passage that shows the religiosity of John Milton. That's all.